If you're not careful and you noclip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the back rooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noise of fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell has heard you. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's me, your host, Vintus, and in this video I will be attempting to survive 100 days in the Minecraft Backrooms. And before the video starts, guys, please consider subscribing. Only a very small percentage of my viewers are actually subscribed, and this is also a new style of video here on the channel that I want to try out. So if you guys do end up enjoying this video, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe. It really means the world to me, and it will also tell me to make more content similar to this in the future. Additionally, this video took me an incredibly long time to make, so I really hope that you guys enjoy it. Please feel free to also leave any feedback down in the comment section. But I've held you guys waiting long enough. Let's get right into surviving 100 days in the Minecraft Backrooms. I spawned in a desert region near an ocean on some sort of island. I began gathering some sand to use as blocks. For some reason, as I walked, I did not notice a hole in the ground, and I fell straight through it. I awoke after what seemed like hours or minutes. I couldn't know. I looked around, and everywhere I saw were strange walls covered in yellow wallpaper, in a region that in all my years I have never seen before. The whole area made me feel incredibly uneasy, and I kept on hearing this loud buzzing noise, which I quickly realized was the electric lights above me. Confused and unsure of what to do, I began exploring the hallways of this place, and they seemed to be never ending and going in seemingly random patterns. As time went on, I began to lose track of where I was and how long I've been here. I decided to check how many days I spent in this location, and I was unfortunately met with the fact that the day counter was broken as it displayed day 3248. I decided to use my intuition and assumed I had been here for about 3 to 4 days. On day 6, I stumbled upon a chest, and in it I found some raw almond water and rotten flesh. I wasn't sure what to do with the rotten flesh, but I decided to try the almond water. The second I drank the almond water, I began to convulse in pain, and I began to experience immense hunger. In desperation, I began consuming the rotten flesh that I had, but they only contributed more to my pain. While remaining on the edge of consciousness, I found myself a corner and stayed there for a while. After I recovered, I threw out all these poisonous items and began to travel through this endless yellow nightmare. After a few more days of wandering, I stumbled upon an area that replaced the striped wallpaper with dotted wallpaper. This actually gave me a lot of hope, as I knew now that it was not just a monotone, endless maze. Supported by this new hope, I continued to explore this area. After a while longer, I finally found another different area. However, this was more than what I bargained for. The area was dark and similar to the normal area, but the wallpaper was greatly damaged and seemed very old. The lights were off and I could no longer hear their electric buzzing, which was actually incredibly unsettling. As I continued to advance through the darkness, I couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that something was watching me. I then quickly made my way back to the lights and their constant hum. I continued my endless trek, but with every passing day, my determination was waning. Closing in on the very limits of my spirit, I was finally saved by a strange glowing yellow rectangle. Having nowhere else to go, I decided to take a leap of faith. I found myself in a brand new location very similar to the previous one. It was still endless, disorganized corridors, but the wallpaper and carpet have been replaced by stone and bricks. To me, this area felt somewhat safer to an extent, as it didn't have as much of the creepy vibe that the first floor had. Knowing that there was no point in waiting around, I began my trek through these endless corridors. I was running around and nothing seemed to change for several days. Once again, my determination was being tested to its limit. It wasn't until I've been walking for 6 whole days that on the 7th day, I found a brand new area, if that's what you could call it. It was simply the same as the stone and brick walls, but the lights were off and it was quiet. This gave off the same eerie vibes as that area in the first floor that forced me to run in fear. However, this time I was ready, and I continued to endure the darkness and eerie lack of sound, and searched in this area in hopes of finding a portal. My senses were sharpened in every way. I could hear my own footsteps and their echo. I could feel the coldness of the walls, and I could sense eyes watching me once again. I tried to ignore them and simply focus on finding a portal, but the fear soon got to me. That is when I heard breathing somewhere behind me. Too afraid to look back, I began running in a random direction in pure terror. I ran, and by some incredible luck, came upon one of these fearsome portals. I arrived in a brand new area that was almost frightening in its simplicity. All it was a long and narrow hallway that seemed to go endlessly to the left and the right. Along this hallway was also a singular pipe. Knowing that it was only a matter of time before the creature caught up to me again, I decided to go in a random direction and just commit to that path. From day 36 all the way up to day 41, I simply walked in that straight line. Nothing seemed to change, and many times I had the thought of turning back and trying the other side, but I knew that it was already too late to do so. I spent day 42 simply dragging one leg in front of the other step after step and focusing on the sound of my footsteps, and I eventually decided to take a break to rest my body and mind. That's when I realized that the sound of my footsteps did not stop when I stopped walking. The footsteps I was focusing on were not my own. I began running as fast as I could. I ran and ran for several days, and it was only towards the end of day 45 that I felt confident that I had lost the creature. However, even with my great exhaustion, I decided to continue to trek forward and not stop. I remember very little from day 46 to 58. My vision began to blur. My mind was blank, and I could no longer see my two hands in front of me. I only had one thought, and it was forwards. I knew that I couldn't stop, or the creature would catch me. It was only on day 59 that I saw quite literally the light at the end of the tunnel. The golden rectangle was there, and I began running. My senses sharpened, and I was ready to finally get out of this place. After going through the portal, I arrived in a brand new area. I laughed at myself for thinking that this would have been my escape, and I decided to just push forwards. This area actually felt different than the rest, and I truly believed here that this may very much be the final level of this hellish maze. Boosted by this new motivation, I pushed forwards, only to find myself facing a dead end. I turned right around and found another path, and it was a dead end. I tried a new path, and another, and another. Day 65. Every single path I took seemed to be a dead end, and it just seemed that I was continuously going in circles, although I was clearly going in one specific direction. Day 66. Every single path I took seemed to be a dead end, and it just seemed that I was continuously going in circles, although I was clearly going in one specific direction. Day 67. Every single path I took seemed to be a dead end, and it just seemed that I was continuously going in circles, although I was clearly going in one specific direction. I spent the next several days reaching dead end after dead end. The constant movement and turning made me nauseous, and it was only on day 68 that I finally found the portal which would lead to my freedom. As I approached the portal, I saw a chest lying there. Could it have been a reward given to me? Before I could decide whether to open it or not, I heard something approaching behind me. It was coming fast, and it made my blood run cold. Nearly paralyzed with fear, I barely managed to push myself through that portal and emerge into the light. Quite funnily, it was now the morning of day 69, and I could feel the warmth of the sunshine and the sand under my feet. I had finally escaped this hellish nightmare, and for the first time in a very long time, I truly saw how beautiful the world really was. I began gathering some sand to use as blocks. For some reason, as I walked, I did not notice a hole in the ground, and I fell straight through it. I awoke after what seemed like hours or minutes. I couldn't know. I looked around, and everywhere I saw were strange walls covered in yellow wallpaper, in a region that in all my years I have never seen before. The whole area made me feel incredibly uneasy, and I kept on hearing this loud buzzing noise, which I quickly realized was the electric lights above me. Confused and unsure of what to do, I began exploring the hallways of this place, and they seemed to be never ending and going in seemingly random patterns. As time went on, I began to lose track of where I was and how long I've been here. Unfortunately, my day counter was broken as it displayed day 3,318. Well guys, that was pretty much it for this video. I really hope you guys did end up enjoying it. Once again, I spent so many hours working on this, so it would really mean the world to me if you guys would like and subscribe. Additionally, this video is completely different from the usual type of content here on my channel, so if you guys want me to make more videos similar to this, make sure to comment that down below, as well as any feedback on how I could improve in the future. That is pretty much it guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.